So, not too long ago, Jerome Powell said this about job creation.
Effectively, there's zero net job creation in the private sector. But actually, that looks like that's about what the economy needs. In the January report was a positive surprise, and the February report was a negative surprise. If you put them together, you get something in the middle.
Nobody ever
I think
talked about it, and I didn't really like how it sounded too much, so I figured I'd put my 2 cents in on the matter. So, for the month of March, unemployment fell, and we got a surprise rise in jobs at 178,000 for the month. This was a shock because there was a major revision from February's numbers of about minus or negative 130 something thousand jobs. Black unemployment, according to this report, is still damn near double cave unemployment, but we're gonna talk about that later. So when I seen the hoopla around the jobs numbers, I wanted to understand what was all components of this, right? And I found some interesting shit. So the labor force participation rate is about 62%, right? So the employment ratio right now is almost at 60 for the month of March. And so that looks decent on the surface, I guess, depending on what you're looking at. But remember, they don't count the people who have not been looking for a job for up to 4 weeks as a part of the unemployed rate calculations and all that good stuff, right? So, of these jobs that were created, most of them were created in healthcare, between healthcare and ambulatory services and all that good stuff. And there was a rise in construction employment. So that tells you right there the two markets you need to be looking into is healthcare and construction, if you're not already. As government or federal employment continuing to decline, given the rollbacks of DEI and all that good stuff. Also, too, going into these job numbers is the ending of the strike and these workers going back to their jobs and all that. So, at the net of everything, we added about 205,000 jobs since the beginning of the year total. But this is also too before we even get any revisions to March. So stay tuned for that, right? So in conclusion, I don't know who net zero job creation is good for. You see what I'm saying? But it definitely ain't good for us, right? So we have to understand that when Jerome Powell speaks, he's speaking different messages for different sets of people, right? So typically he's talking to and about the people on the upper leg of the K, but we know ADOS America, most of us are represented in the bottom leg of the K. And that is a completely different reality as we are experiencing the stagflation, right? My name is Ghetto Freeman, your humble Cape Supremacy elucidator, helping Black America better understand Cape Supremacy through economics and a little bit of politics. If you got something out of this, please like, share, comment, subscribe, follow for more. Tap in with the links to get a hold of my merch and more of my content, my book, and all that good stuff. Stay young, stay pro black. Peace.